Hey everybody, from here on out, story videos will usually be just straight into the story. No fluff, nothing like that, but since this is the first one, we're going to make a small exception. Just a heads up, these videos are going to be released periodically alongside my normal Fakemon design videos as we develop enough Pokemon to merit telling the next chunk of the story. I don't know how often they're going to drop, but we will do them as often as we need to tell the full story of the Wentano region. That being said, welcome to Pokémon Granite. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Whether you're familiar with these incredible creatures or not, I can assure you that each one has the potential to be an amazing ally on the journey that lies ahead. But before you wake up, do you mind if I ask, are you a boy or a girl? A boy. Fantastic. And your name was Aster. That's a wonderful name. Now, you have a lot to do today, so don't be late for our meeting. Suddenly your vision fills with the faces of tiny, owl-like Pokemon fluttering right before your eyes. You wake up. Your bedroom looks just like you remember it, or at least you think it does. Aster! Your dad calls from downstairs. I know it's early, but if you don't meet Professor Sage soon, he might leave without you. I'm headed out, so wake yourself up. You get out of bed and start getting ready. As you descend down the stairs, the house feels familiar, but something feels off. Family photos line the walls, images of you, your mom, your dad, and their Pokemon. You know these people. You know everything about them. Still, you shake off that strange feeling from the odd dream you had. At the bottom of the stairs, you find breakfast waiting on the counter for you, along with a sticky note. Check the couch. You never know what Professor Sage has in store for you. You might need this, so I got you a new one just in case. This could be the start of something great, kiddo. Love you, Dad. On the couch, you spot a brand new backpack. It's simple, but it looks sturdy enough to carry whatever you'll need. You grab the pack and breakfast, and you head straight out the door. Where are you going again? Oh, that's right. Professor Sage said to meet on the cave at Route 0. As you step outside, still groggy and a bit confused, you decide to run ahead to shake off that grogginess. You're late anyways. As you start to pick up the pace, you nearly run into a shadowy figure. Barely noticing them in time, you dodge around them and keep going. Hey, watch it, kid! A voice shouts from behind you in the dim light. It is too early for this, and you have no idea who that was. Thankfully, the wild Pokemon aren't out yet, so you make your way to Route 0 without any trouble, other than whoever it was that you just ran past. As you approach the cave entrance, you notice a small figure standing nearby. It's a Fortowel. You stop, but it notices you immediately and sprints into the cave. You follow it inside, but it disappears without a trace. Luckily, Professor Sage is waiting for you, just inside the cave's entrance. Oh, there you are, Aster. I've been waiting for you, the professor says. Someone approaches you from behind, joining the group. Professor, you aren't serious, right? They protest. He nearly knocked me over on my way here. He was running so fast. Can you imagine someone rushing around trying to do research? Not exactly assistant material. Kendra, that is no way to speak about someone else. Professor Sage chides. There is something to be said about having a sense of urgency for our work. Yeah, whatever, Kendra mutters, clearly irritated. The professor turns to you. I called you both here because I believe you have the potential to do something extraordinary in the world of Pokemon research. It's nice to see you again, Aster. Professor Sage is an elderly, bald man with oversized glasses and a glint in his eye. Not mischievous, but it's almost like he knows something about you. He continues, Today, I need your help raising some of our lab Pokemon. We hatched them from eggs, but they're too young for testing right away, so we train them on these nearby routes. What Pokemon will we get, Professor? Can I have the best one? Kendra asks excitedly. They're all at level 3, and much time will have to pass before anyone could be the best in the sense that you're talking about, Professor Sage replies. Aster, you got here first. You get first pick. The professor opens a briefcase with 3 Pokeballs inside. A hologram above each Pokeball shows the Pokemon it contains. Despite the high-tech display, each Pokeball is also labeled with masking tape and a Sharpie. Clearly, the professor struggles with keeping track of them. The choices are unfamiliar to you. A beetle, a fish, and a toad? The beetle feels right, though. Ah, Seedle. Excellent choice for today's expedition. And you, Kendra? If he's taking Seedle, I'm taking Maglet. Ever heard of a type advantage? Kendra grabs her Pokeball and walks off deeper into the cave. I'm sorry about her, Aster, Professor Sage sighs. She can have a high opinion of herself sometimes. If you follow this cave and then Route 1, you'll reach Meadowville eventually. That's where my lab is. Use this time to train Seedle by battling wild Pokemon. Try to get it to level 5 before you arrive if you can. I'll be nearby training my Trippish, so if you need healing, just come find me, okay? As you part ways, you feel the professor's eyes on you. It's not creepy, more like he's just observing. You shake off the feeling and release Seedle from its Pokeball. Little bug looks up at you curiously, realizing that you're going to be its trainer for today. It's not long before a wild bug Pokemon drops from the ceiling, hissing at you and Seedle. Seedle quickly dispatches it with Seed Bomb though, and you continue deeper into the cave. As you do, a single trainer approaches you. Pardon me, you wouldn't happen to have seen 2 trainers walk by, would you? He asks. One of them has spiky white hair, he's a bit bigger. The other one would be a tallish girl in a yellow sweater. He's dressed in an aviator jacket that's got red trim, and his long black hair falls below his shoulders. You can't tell quite how old he is, but he can't be more than 20. You shake your head. Hey, that's okay. Thank you for your time. He begins walking down the other path, muttering to himself. Maybe that means they haven't found it yet. You can't help but shake the feeling that you just spoke to someone that's going to be pretty important. As you continue to make your way through the cave, you find more of that bug Pokemon and even some Fortowel that you were able to battle and eventually defeat. Some battles being tougher than others, but each time you overcome them and persevere. By the time you reach the exit, the bright sunlight outside makes you wonder how long you were even in that cave. On Route 1, you encounter more wild Pokemon. A tough grass type that looks like a cactus, and another one that's a really aggressive bug type Pokemon. Each battle fires up Seedle even more, and the little bug grins at you after each victory. By the time you reach Meadowville, both you and Seedle are exhausted. You glance down at the determined little Pokemon, smiling at its perseverance. Something about its love for battling resonates with you. You even begin to wonder what it would be like to battle against other trainers. Aster, you made it, Professor Sage calls from the steps of a large building. Perhaps an observatory? Its glass dome glistens in the sunlight. Come inside, come inside. I'd love to evaluate Seedle's progress. Inside the professor's lab, you place Seedle's Pokeball on a table in the center of the room. Screens flash to life around you, analyzing everything. New moves learned, battles fought, and levels gained. After a moment, the machine beeps and the data disappears from the screens. Technology can be quite impressive, but I still trust my own eyes, Professor Sage says with a wink. Suddenly, he lets Seedle out of its Pokeball, and to your surprise, the little Pokemon immediately begins wreaking havoc in the lab, spraying Seed Bomb everywhere, knocking over equipment, ignoring the frantic lab staff. The professor watches you with a smile, his eyes never leaving. Suddenly, a stray seed hits you, knocking you to the ground. You call out to Seedle, telling it to stop. Immediately, Seedle backs off and scurries over, frantically running around you to inspect the damage it did. The professor approaches you, smiling still. As I suspected, you have the makings of an excellent trainer. He hands you a small device which buzzes to life in your hand. This is a Rotom-Watch, which doubles as your Pokedex. I'm going to need you to collect data on as many Pokemon as possible. Strange phenomena are happening all over Wentano, and I need your help investigating. Can I count on you? You nod, realizing this journey is going to be more than you ever expected. And there you have it, part 1 of our story. I know it isn't much, but setting up these early portions allows me to make sure that the more interesting parts of our story make the most sense. If you're wondering how Pokemon Amber, which is the companion piece to Pokemon Granite, is going to be different, I promise it's much more than the standard differences that you might be used to. Go check it out there, but until then, thank you for watching, and look forward to more Wentano content. Leave any guesses as to who you think this new mysterious character, or really any of the characters in the story are, and what their futures might be. Thank you.